Hello, and welcome to the series finale of the Remote Producer Show. Today we are loading you up with the 7-layer strategy that you can use to dominate any industry and grow your brand. Jump in the chat if you're hanging with us today. Would love to see who's here in the mix for the season finale of the show. If you've joined any episode prior, please jump in the chat. Let me know you've enjoyed any little portion of this so we can see who's been here throughout the journey. So thank you guys so much for jumping in here. Appreciate your support all along the way. But today's episode will be loading you up with a legit strategy that I used for clients. And it's also used by some of the top personal brands in the world. So this strategy works, the system works, and everything we're going over today, you can use for your business or for your personal brand. So I see George hanging with us. Welcome to the party. We are warming up the room. Jump in the comments here if you are with us. Would love to see who's in the mix. Folks, we are about to fire up the official last episode of the Remote Producer Show. So as always, if you have any specific questions, jump in the chat, share your question or share your input and advice for other people's questions that you see. So thank you for joining. I am about to get started here, and what we're talking about today is something I call the 7-layer media machine. This absolutely changed my life and business, and I'm pretty confident it can do the same for you. So what we're going to be talking about today is an elite brand strategy, that encourages you to build ongoing shows and encourage your community to grow in a creative way. So this is something that's used by the top brands in the world, from like Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber type of folks, to business oriented like Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Lewis Howes. I've been studying all of the best personal brands and people that have understood how to leverage and utilize modern media. And this is where what we are using as the source for this elite brand strategy. And it works, I promise you. So what we're going to talk about today is how to convert that strategy into a machine, a media machine that's consistently rocking and rolling with your brand. And then how we can finally plug that into compounding community growth, how this can grow your business and grow your audience in an ongoing way. So you, as a producer, can build out an empire, a media-based empire for your brand to dominate. So thank you guys so much for joining. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm currently not seeing comments coming through, so potentially I'm hanging out alone here, or I'm not seeing your comments, and I apologize. So let's go through these 7 layers that you need to understand. And this is going to be all based on chronological frequencies. So we're going to go into hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual, and you will have a specific agenda and playbook that you can follow. So let's go ahead and consider the first category, which is one of the most critical, which I call the hourly pulse. You need to have a real-time understanding of your audience and your industry. You can utilize any social platforms, any channels of communication that you're currently using for this, but you need to be in tune with your audience and your community in a creative way. So this is how you stay in tune with trends and opportunities that land on your plate as a specific strategy or opportunity to go into. So this is keeping in tune with audience feedback, industry feedback, comments and stuff from your audience can actually shape your content strategy. If you're getting the same comments, same questions over and over, that's a good signal to read into and shape your content strategy around that. So keep that in mind, and remember, this is all to utilize a better content strategy. So the immediate benefit is just staying in tune with your community. The secondary benefit is using the information from being in tune with that community to develop your shows and to develop your content. So that's what you should be doing, as close as possible to an hourly ratio, or as close to real time as you can get. Stay in tune with your audience in as close to real time as possible. Then that will set you up for the next piece of this puzzle, which is super critical. We call this the daily posting. Literally daily posting. You need to stay top of mind if you really want to establish both conscious authority and subconscious authority. This is one of the most effective pieces of the puzzle. So thank you to everybody jumping in here. I do see people hopping in here. Welcome to the party. Thank you guys so much. If you have specific questions, jump in the chat, share them. We'll go ahead and get to them, but we're rocking and rolling on piece 2 of this 7-layer strategy, which is about daily posting. This is how you stay top of mind by having videos, images, stories, articles, emails, any type of content you can produce. And we're going to get into repurposing strategies for this in a sec. But the goal is to always be present for a few specific channels and conversations. The ultimate goal here is for when somebody thinks of problem X, they think of you as the solution. Whatever that problem or that topic is, it's your goal to be the leading authority or the leading, stay top of mind for that headspace. So in my world, it became unofficial. I was the live stream guy. And as soon as I started leaning into that, more and more people immediately think of me the moment live stream problems are mentioned or there's a referral at play. So think of how you can daily get your content out there, get your voice, your message, your face, all of those things will help you build rapport and build connection that ultimately leads to better business relationships. So thank you to George, Teresa, Adrian, Susan. Thank you guys so much for jumping in. Let's keep it rolling with another piece of the puzzle. We went from hourly into the daily strategy, and now here is the weekly rhythm that I recommend for putting this machine together. So in order to have enough content for daily posting, you need some type of feasible production strategy. And this is where I advise building a live stream, a podcast, or some type of web series that you can own. You own the production, you own the whole thing top to bottom, and it's on you to build that show as your primary media pillar. Those of you that follow everybody that crushes it online, it's very likely they have some type of primary media pillar. The Joe Rogan Experience, Lewis Howes School of Greatness podcast. There's a pillar that everything's working from. And this is how you can stick with that daily posting without needing like a massive, crazy team that's producing content every hour. You can have a high efficiency, high impact production system. And that's going to be what really pulls things together for you as a brand and as a business. If you can nail that efficiency ratio of producing high quality content for a low amount of input, you're going to be in a solid spot. So think of this. This is why this is in the live stream portion of this show, is because this strategy is my go-to business model. Building a primary show on a weekly rhythm and slicing that back into what we were just on, the daily posting. This synergy between these two is amazing. Do not ignore the power of a solid production. So think of what your primary pillar would be in that context and build a show that you can rinse and repeat. Thank you, Scott, jumping in here with the, not a question, a comment. I wonder what you look like without headphones on. One day we'll have to go ahead and go through with an old school non-headphone video. But let's keep it rolling here. Out of the weekly rhythm and now into monthly. So everything we talked about before was about building your brand, building your audience, and growing the community in a specific and intentional way. That's great. All of that's going to work for growing your rapport, your audience, and your authority. But what actually moves the needle on revenue? What actually moves the needle on your specific business goals? So if you have the rest of those going, this is now another layer to add to all of the prior. And this is what I call the monthly conversion. And this can be adjusted if there's a higher frequency that you can do these. Definitely go for it. But this is a specific production made for conversion. A lot of the other stuff is for community building and authority and content. This event is for conversion, whether it's into your offer, sending people to an affiliate or a referral, whatever drives your business goals needs to have a specific event. So in many cases, this is something like a webinar. It could be attached to a promotion, a special offer, a sale, something going on in that context. But it's your goal to push for assertive conversion that aligns with your goals. So this is essentially the stage where we transfer all of that attention into revenue, all this attention and the community. It's a whole nother ball game for figuring this out, the entertainment side versus the business side, because it's difficult to do both at once. So if you have events like this specifically set up for conversion, it makes sure that the business goals attached to your media and all your marketing don't slip off the radar. It's very easy to get caught up in all the fun and sexy stuff with production and media and social. But if it's not converting to business, what's it ultimately for? So I think many of you are here for understanding how to produce for yourself or for a business. So please consider the monthly conversion your opportunity to transform attention into revenue. Now, we've gone through hourly, daily, weekly, and monthly rhythms. Now we're going to throw in one that's solely to keep it fresh. You got to keep it fresh, and this is something I call like a quarterly surprise. Some type of surprise or entertainment that nobody saw coming. It's very easy for stuff to get boring when you are on a rinse and repeat cycle. You have episodes of the same thing coming out each week. If you're doing daily posting, it's very easy for that to get stale. So you need to think of what crazy thing can you do to entertain your audience while also serving your mutual goals and interests. Now, if you can land on something that people actually enjoy going to, this is going to be a big win. So I suggest putting something together like a live stream party, a virtual event, a physical party if you can actually do that in person somewhere, or some type of gifting based media, perhaps a charity-based video giving away something to your community, anything that they didn't see coming that will keep it fresh. You have to be able to keep your audience on their toes. Otherwise, they will always expect, they'll basically have the assumption they already know what's coming. The moment they see a video or an episode or something coming, they know, all right, I already know what this guy's doing. I already know what's going to happen. Meh. So this is a great way to emphasize creative one-off events that you can shock and awe and surprise people with sensational experiences they don't forget. So think of the weirdest, craziest, funnest stuff you could do and surprise your audience in entertaining ways. And you'll see that this has long-term benefits. You'll see the big artists, they'll do stuff like pop-up shops where they show up in a city, they have a merch store, they'll sign autographs, they do all this stuff just out of the middle of nowhere, and then share the event, and then it's gone. Nobody could have planned for that. Nobody could have expected what was going to happen there. But if you can integrate that into your media strategy, you will be in a good spot. So let's keep it moving on to the next layer of the machine, which is something like the holy grail of your brand. Every single brand that we are talking about here today, all the ones that I've studied from Lewis Howes to Tony Robbins to freaking like Taylor Swift level artists, they have some type of event each year that is like the holy grail, the mecca of that industry or of that brand. So if you can establish a experience like that, a recurring experience is even better. This is a great way to bring all of that work you've been doing, all of the work you've been doing with real-time feedback, all of the work with daily posting, and then with weekly production on the show, and then the monthly and quarterly entertainment that's thrown in there to keep people happy. Now all of those people are gonna be desperate and craving to connect and meet with one another. So if you can build and produce an event that becomes that experience where everybody can connect, this is going to be a great final piece of the puzzle where everything else is happening on a recurring basis, on rotation. And then this event comes, and this is the mecca for everybody to finally sync up. So, if you can connect all of these dots and all of the pieces of the machine, you will be in a brilliant spot. So what we've talked about already is like gonna put you in high, like full gear, sixth gear. We went into daily pulse, daily posting, weekly productions, monthly conversions, quarterly surprises, and now we just went into sixth gear with annual events, a physical or a virtual event that connects people. So if you connect all of these layers, you're already rocking in high gear. But there is one more layer. Layer number 7 is going to bring this all together, send it to a whole nother level, and that is share the journey. If you are a media creator of any kind, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a human of any kind, honestly, I'm just going to lower the bar entirely. You need to be sharing your journey regardless of whether you think it has immediate benefits or not. So this is going to kick into high gear. We have the 6 gears we already checked into, rocking and rolling on a linear frequency. Now this share the journey is ongoing all the time, any opportunity you can. So this can be anything from super simple behind the scenes, like what's up, guys? Getting set up for the show. Blah blah blah. Here's what I'm thinking about today, and here's what I'm excited about. Or the polar opposite side of the spectrum is like, you've probably seen them on Netflix now. Every single celebrity or personal brand has some type of documentary or behind the scenes like biopic. There's a reason why they are all doing that. It's because connecting in a meaningful way to really humanize the person behind the brand is so powerful. So that's what sharing the journey does. Some of my favorite creators on LinkedIn and TikTok and just throughout social media in general have been the ones where you can see their journey and they share it with you step by step when you see them level up. So that's a key piece here that you need to lay over the entire process of everything else we talked about today. Those primary 6 gears will get you rocking and rolling to full speed, max efficiency. And this 7th layer here just sends it to a whole nother level, because everything you're doing for the prior 6 layers can be captured and documented. And this gives you a permanent fallback of more content to tap into. So super simple way for all of these pieces to come together. You can humanize your brand without losing authority, because the show and the other primary productions are building your authority. The journey that you're sharing here is about building a real relationship, a human relationship with who's on the other side of all these screens. So that is technically it for the 7-layer media machine. I think we went over all of them. For everybody that is joining late, or if you just have a question in general, jump in the chat right now. Would love to hear your questions. I do see a lot of people that were hopping in here late, so we are at the quick little recap. So I'm gonna do a hyper speed recap here in a second, but I would love to see who's here in the mix with us today. If you are on YouTube over on the Restream world, please drop a little like or comment. Let us know you're hanging with us. But to everybody that's joining late, we're going to briefly go into the 7-layer media machine in hyperspeed, and then we'll jump into the Q&A. For anybody that has questions, drop them in the chat right now. So, the recap rewind that we are going to go over today is starting back at good old layer 1 here. The linear frequency. Again, these are all based around linear frequencies. 6 of them you can have on rotation. The final one is a layer that you should have going all the time. Here we go into hyperspeed mode, ladies and gentlemen, the 7-layer media machine. Layer 1 is your hourly pulse. You need to stay in tune with your industry, your audience, and then utilize that data to guide your strategy. All about staying in tune with the opportunities that you need to tap into. Then, converting all of your primary productions and everything you can into daily posting, staying top of mind, and establishing authority for your industry and your network. That's going to be a huge win that you can plug into this right here, the weekly production. This is where the source of all of your clips and your footage and everything. Your weekly production is your primary pillar. Build a live stream, a podcast, or some type of show that is on a high efficiency, high impact production system. And then to make sure that the needle is always moving for your business goals, having conversion events specifically catered for your business. This could be a webinar, promotion, sales, any type of offer that moves people from the audience category to a client or a customer. So this is where you need to transform all the attention you've been garnering and turn it into revenue. And then another critical piece here to keep it fresh is a quarterly surprise or some type of entertainment that nobody saw coming. Shock, awe, and surprise your audience in sensational ways, and they'll keep coming back for more, wondering what is next. So the weekly rhythm and daily posting can occasionally get stale. Throw these in to really mix it up and create something special. And then the last piece here for the 6th gear of recurring things is establishing a holy grail event, creating a recurring experience, like something almost like religious, like the journey to Mecca. You want that version for your person and your industry, whoever you're trying to reach. That's where a lot of this can come together and turn into real human connection. So your goal is to do it bigger and better every year. And if you have all of these rocking and rolling in top gear, there's one more layer that you can add that's like just like the NOS booster that will send this to a whole nother level. Share the journey. Please, please, please. This is something I need to do better myself. But I promise you, if you share the journey by documenting what is going on throughout this process, you will be in a really good spot, because this establishes the opposite level of relatability and personability that you need for human connection. All the other stuff is great for high authority, high power, efficiency type of stuff. But sharing the journey turns you into a real human. That's what creates the undying loyalty that you see with like some of these like super fans and pop stars. It's because they understand their life in an intimate level. So connect all these dots and you will have not only a media machine running and rocking and rolling in top gear with the prior 6. If you add the 7th layer to it, you will see all the media that you touch, everything that your brand does, your personal brand or your business will all have more authority, better results, higher conversion. I promise you it's worth it. So please, please, please pursue as many of these steps and these layers as you can. And anybody that needs help with that journey, if you need help with any piece of that puzzle, please reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. That's pretty much the primary place I'm on. I was about to do like a list of like all the socials, but pretty much available on LinkedIn. So hunt me down there. And that's where I would love to support anybody's journey. So that is technically the end of the line. Robert Berry coming in here with this season finale. This is a brilliant idea. I'm glad we thought of it the very last episode. But I should have done a rewind sound effect. Could have been perfect opportunity, but we missed it. No worries, Robert. Thank you guys so much. But this is technically the end of the line. The end of the show. We are ending the Restream shows. So anybody that's curious to follow our journey and join our community, there's a link in the YouTube description to join the Beast Club. Would love to have your support. We're a bunch of content creators and streamers of all kinds, producers. So please join that if you can. And for those of you still hanging out, we're going to go ahead and wrap up here in a quick second. If you have a question, drop it in the chat here. Otherwise, we're going to close out here in a few minutes, but I'm going to give you guys a chance to jump in here, say hello, oh, there's Nigel. Thank you so much for joining the party. And as always, huge thank you to Restream. These guys have been supporting my journey since the start. By far my favorite platform of all of the above. So thank you to Restream for this opportunity. It's been amazing. I hope there are future opportunities to work together in the future with live events. I'm just in a whole nother world, excited about where everything's going. So thanks, Nigel. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you, Marine. Everybody that's been joining for even a tiny portion or every dang episode. I see you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting this journey. As always, thank you to Restream. Jump in the chat if you haven't yet. Let us know that you have been a part of this journey. And that is technically the end of the line. I'm a little sad, guys. I'm a little sad. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Chris Hennessy, fellow producer. Thank you guys so much. So I'm partially excited to wrap this up and take a break and not have to stream for once next week. But happy holidays to all of you. And I hope this isn't the end of the journey. Anybody that's been lurking and watching, please join our Discord community or anything else that you need help with. I'm always immediately available to support your journey directly. No worries, Teresa. We will be back in action next year once we figure out the new show, new strategies. But for now, that's all, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining the adventure. That's the end of the line. Anybody that would like to support me or Restream in any way, go ahead and just create an account on Restream using the link below. And that's gonna get you set up for a whole nother world that you can dive into. So please jump into the world of producing and streaming and everything that's under the hood there. I'm finally officially out. Thank you guys so much. Enjoy the journey.